In today's essay, other question type of task 2 will be discussed. The first question type was agree or disagree, which was in my previous lecture. Now today we are going to discuss both the sides and give your opinion. So the question says, some multinational companies sponsor sports events in order to advertise themselves. You must have understood the question. It states that many companies give finance to such types of sports events like cricket or football, fine, so that they can advertise themselves. You must have seen upon the shirts of the cricketers that certain advertisements are mentioned. So this is the sponsoring which is done by the companies. Now for this, some people think that it is good, while others think that it has certain disadvantages. Discuss both the sides and give your opinion. Fine, these are the two sides. Some people think that it is good, sponsoring is good, while others think that there are disadvantages to this. So this is the negative side. We need to discuss both the sides and then give your opinion. Opinion may be answered in the introduction or in the conclusion. So look here, in the introduction I would mention the same thing which is written over here but in some different words. Okay, so what I wrote, various large organizations sponsor sports events such as cricket or football as a way to advertise their products. So it's the same which is mentioned over here. Now some people have positive opinion about this, while others believe that there are certain downsides to this. Again the same thing I mentioned in different words. Now they asked my opinion. I wrote, in my opinion, when multinational companies sponsor these events, it is advantageous for them and the sports. For the company and for the sports, it is advantageous. Now I would write BP1, and in BP1 I would mention this thing, that it is good, sponsoring is good. So what I wrote, when business entities are large organizations, when big in business entities sponsor such sports events, both parties get benefit. Okay, companies and sports both get benefit. Sports events are promoted and people will be motivated to participate in several sports activities. I have elaborated it further. Fine. When sponsoring happens, then sports events are promoted. Obviously, when the advertisements are broadcasted in IPL, you must have seen, then what happens? The sports events get promoted so huge, so highly in certain areas, and people also get motivated. How? In addition to this, here I have mentioned how talented youngsters may get inspired by the fame and money that accomplished players get. Now how they get motivated? They get motivated by seeing the name and fame. Name and fame means the name and the money which they get. Who get? Accomplished players. Accomplished players means prominent players like Virat Kohli in cricket. So whenever they see such kind of players get name and fame, then they want to pursue a career in the sports. Obviously, yes, you will agree with this, because when Virat Kohli got so much of name and fame, what happened? Youngsters also want to join cricket so as to earn huge amount of money in short span of time. Fine, so that I have mentioned. By choosing their advertisements during these sports events, companies which sponsor or finance them can reach more profit. Now earlier I mentioned benefit for the sports, now I am mentioning benefit for the companies. So companies also gain profit by sponsoring. How? I would explain here. Many firms such as Airtel, Idea and Pepsi funded number of sports competitions, and this enhanced their publicity. Now what happens? Again I would take the example of IPL or any other sports event, you may say. What happens when the people like us, when we see advertisements during such events, then we get used to such advertisements and we get persuaded to buy these products. So in the same way, these companies like Airtel, Idea, Pepsi, when they fund in such kind of sports, they also get benefit they also reach to the public. Fine. Now on the other hand, I told you earlier the second side is the negative side. On the other hand, the drawback of this phenomenon cannot be ignored. Yes, it cannot be ignored. It may deflect the attention of people from sports to their products. Of course, yes, deflect means distract. We easily get distracted by such advertisements when they are broadcasted on the TV. What happens when the cricket is being broadcasted and the ads is displayed? We get easily distracted. Our attention get distracted by such advertisements. So in addition, when ads are broadcasted during these events, they may dampen the spirit and enthusiasm of the spectators. Now what it means? It means that it dampen means lower. It lowered the spirit and joyness of people. Now who are spectators? Spectators are the onlookers, means public. When the public watch such kinds of events and suddenly the ad comes, then what happen? Our attention gets diverted. Our attention easily get diverted. Hence it might not arouse real sports spirit among the people. Of course, yes, it may not arouse. Arouse means to develop, to increase the real sports spirit among us. Fine. So in conclusion, even though product adverts distract viewers of the sports competitions to a small extent, sports events are promoted to a great extent during these competitions, which are sponsored by big multinational firms. So it is good that sports events are sponsored by large business enterprises. Now what has happened here? Here the again opinion of mine is presented. Fine. I have written here, although the product adverts easily distract our attention, okay, but up to a certain extent, these companies, what they do, they promote sports events directly, as well as they also gain certain profit. So it is advantageous for the both. This is the opinion which I mentioned here also. So this opinion and this opinion gets matched.